Both Oliver and Brody felt their knees start to buckle. Why are such legendary beings here? Luther's face was as white as a sheet as he lamented inwardly. Had he known that he would meet these masters here, he never would have come in the first place. Everyone was silenced by the presence of the 4 major gods from the Hall of Gods. An overwhelming, murderous aura permeated every inch of the place. The crowd stood idly in place, and no one dared to speak, move, or even so much as breathe loudly. At that moment, they knew that they were no longer in control of their lives. And the fact was, they weren't wrong. Not in the least. In the presence of the 4 major gods, their lives were as insignificant as ants. Beneath their fear and terror, there was also a genuine curiosity as to what exactly brought the 4 major gods there. Mr. Rhys, we know you're in there. Would you please come out to meet us? The 4 major gods stood in a row, and it was Athena who first broke the silence. How merry it is out here. Rufus walked out with a glass of wine as he laughed heartily. Since the Hall of Gods sent all 4 of you, I guess they're really intent on ending me today. Mr. Rhys, the Hall of Gods really admires talented people like you. As long as you agree to join us, not only will you walk away unscathed today, but you will also gain our protection. Athena declared loudly. Ha ha. From what you're saying, I gather that you're proposing that I betray my country? Rufus asked with amusement. We can give you everything that Dragonmarsh has to offer and more. You will be able to fully unleash your talents in Struqua, Athena persuaded unceasingly. I'll have you know, there are 3 things I'll never do. First, I'll never kill the weak, the old, women, and children. Secondly, I'll never put up with corrupt bureaucrats. And finally, I'll never betray my country. So, unfortunately, I'll have to disappoint you today. Rufus' smile remained as wide as ever. If you do not agree, then today is the day you'll meet your maker. Athena's gaze was cold. Are you able to kill me with just the 4 of you? Rufus took a sip of his wine. We might not be able to go to war against you, but there's nobody out there who does a better job at assassinating than us. Athena announced confidently. Cut the chit-chat. I can't wait to get things started. Ars laughed maniacally and began to move. With an agile leap, he charged toward Rufus like a bullet. Get him. With Athena's command, all of them charged toward Rufus immediately. Though all 4 of them were major gods, none of them dared slack off in the slightest because the person standing in front of them was someone worthy of being taken seriously by them. Major gods? Huh. I call bullshit on that. Albert, who stood behind Rufus, scoffed. In one swift motion, he stepped in front of Rufus and met the 4 major gods head-on. In an instant, thunderous sounds echoed from all around as fierce gales howled unceasingly and waves of true energy swept across their surroundings. The members of Royal Valor backed off as quickly as they could, lest they got caught in the middle. Dustin stood at the entrance to the medical center and squinted as he watched the battle between the 5 of them. The Rhys family had 3 great generals, namely the Sword Whisperer, the Executioner, and the Drunken Maniac. Out of the 3 of them, the Sword Whisperer was undoubtedly the most powerful. However, the most ruthless of them all was none other than Albert, the Executioner. Albert had reached peak-level Grandmastery 10 years ago. Now that 10 years had passed, he'd refined his skills so much more that he was on par with the 4 major gods. Oh my goodness! Who's this old fella? How can he hold up against the 4 major gods so well? Oliver and Brody were amazed by what they saw. From their point of view, the 4 major gods were deities who had total control during any battle, and when 4 such unrivaled beings teamed up and were still no match for an old man, it was truly mystifying. Damn it! I'm lucky I didn't barge into the medical center earlier on. I'd be dead meat if I did. Clement broke out in a cold sweat when he saw the ongoing fight. Never in his dreams had he ever thought that there would be such a powerful master in the tiny medical center. He wouldn't even know how he died if he actually went and challenged such a person. Hang on. The old man was someone from Peaceful Medical Center, and Peaceful Medical Center belonged to Dustin. Could it be possible that Dustin was somehow related to the old man? Ashen-faced, Clement dared not even continue his train of thought.